Welcome to another edition of the eSpot with Camille. The eSpot is your location for the latest in entertainment, beauty, and design from the people who make it. Thanks for joining.
Okay, we'll start all over. So I am here with the one and the only Marilyn, who's a new resident of Wake County. So tell me, how's the move been so far? How do you like living in the great, not so sunshiny state? No, I'm kidding. It is sunshiny here, but
It's very sunshiny
and
and very wet.
a lot of humidity.
Yes,
so.
but I am loving it. I mean, I've been to Raleigh before because my daughter lives here, and this just felt like the most obvious choice for me. So happy to be here, but it's kind of having to get acclimated, get used to a different type of busy, because I'm not that busy. But I do love it here.
Well, I mean, I did do a plug for my area, but I didn't tell you the acronym for it. So Cary is known for a centralized area of relocated Yankees. So it's something to consider because you're not even supposed to be here, right? So tell me, what was it like to reconnect with the Clerks people for Clerks 3?
Always great. I mean, look, I wish I could forever work with Brian on a continuous basis. I love working with him. So, but being back with the family in its entirety was special. It was just very special.
Now, I do have to say that I was a little sad because I go to watching Clerks for all the funny and the quips and the pillow pants of it all. Like, there's so many like funny one-liners in that. It was a lot different. We're like seeing a different side, but it also reminded people to make sure they get all their health checks. But I'm curious for you, what was it like on an emotional level to see like what are you guys going to do next? You have to figure out something else for us to do.
I loved the fact that I was able to show a different side, a different part of my acting. Um, because to be honest, it's like I never expected that I would be in comedy anyway. Um, and every time that I've done any kind of a show on theater, it was always something dramatic for the most part. But it was nice to do something comedic and be known for that. But I'm glad that I was able to show the world something different. And the fact that my audition for Clerks originally was something dramatic anyway. And hopefully it leads to some other things. We'll see. But I, it's it's nice to be able to do something different and to kind of show the range to explore other things as well.
And I hate that he kind of killed himself off because I was like, it would be kind of interesting to see how you guys like aged into things, but also come down maybe to a suburbs life and change up things. But I wonder for you because you did say you started with drama, and but you're known for your comedic roles. What role would you like to do next? Like if your dream role.
That's kind of hard to say at this point because for a long time, um, there was a moment that I auditioned for like two or three plays, and this was not too far after Clerks. And one of them was A Lion of Winter, playing Elise. And I actually got cast in that role, but at the same time, I had been cast for a role in Same Time Next Year, which was just two people on stage versus an ensemble piece. And I'm like, like two really good roles, and I'm like, oh, I had to go with the one, that had me on stage most of the time versus the ensemble. So that was one role that I really wanted to do for the longest time, but I've aged out of that a long time ago.
Well, you never know. DEI casting.
I don't know. So, but at this point, yeah, I don't know. I just love getting meaty roles.
Well, so now that you live here in Raleigh, we were kind of talking off air about this, but I think you would be so great at helping like people who are maybe just getting started in acting or even people that might need like a professional that's actually worked on a lot of different films and you've worked on film, you worked in theater, and I'm curious, what tips would you give to people maybe just getting started or kind of discouraged because it is so slow right now in the industry?
Yeah, it is a difficult time to actually get started in this business, but it's if you're someone who's very innovative, I think it's a perfect time. Um, I'm not necessarily one of those innovative people to figure, just kind of think outside the box. I'm great for other people, though, I will say that. But it still doesn't mean that you can't. I mean, there's always theater still. There's still theater. So I think if you want to get into this business and whatever it is, because maybe it's not acting, maybe it's directing or filmmaking, and or whatever it is, know know what it is and what it entails. Find your people. And in some areas, it's very difficult to find your people when it's not a huge filmmaking area. Um, but it's funny, we were talking about the acting and teaching and stuff like that. And during COVID, I did have someone reach out, a fan. It's like, I'd like for you to teach me and coach me. And I'm like, I've thought about it, but I never gave it much more than that thought, and I didn't know how good I would be at it. I know what I'm doing and I have my technique, but it's not like I have anything written down. It's like how other teachers and coaches have like their techniques. I just know what works for me. I'm like, I'll do that for you. He's like, perfect, no problem. And so we did that for a couple of months, and then we kind of swayed out because things kind of got a little busy for both of us. It's like, and we were on different coasts as well. Recently, he kind of reached out about maybe doing it again, and me being moving, and I'm like, maybe. It's like, so it's something that I definitely have a thought process for, and I actually did reach out to him while I was still in LA. I want to know, did you really get anything out of it? And he was like, sang my praises, which was really nice. Um, but it kind of validated for me as well that I did help him, and he feels like he became a better actor for it. So that's good.
Well, I want to make sure I'm considerate of your time because there's probably going to be a huge line coming soon. What How can people stay in touch with you? And also, if you do happen to start offering those one-on-one classes or coaching, how can they find you online?
So I'm on Instagram, Facebook, X Twitter. I'm on Thread and Blue Sky, but not as much. It's like Instagram is like my place for the most part. You can definitely reach out there. Message me on Instagram versus Facebook. It's just easier. I don't know why, but it just is. And yeah, keep in touch with me that way if you want to actually request my services and we can talk. I don't know.
Well, great. Thank you so much for being on the East Bout with Camille. I really appreciate seeing you
Thank
again.
you.
Catching up with
Yes,
you.
it was
Very
nice.
excited to be here. Clerks 3 was amazing, but also very sad. Spoiler alert, I'm sure by now everybody's seen it. So, but revisiting that character, what was it like for you to be back with the gang again?
Well, first of all, doing Clerks 3, here it was, I believe, 28 years after we'd made the first one. So if I had a time machine and went back to 1993 and said, in 28 years, you're going to be saying the same bullshit again and again, I'd be like, kill me now. No, but it was definitely a trip down memory lane. Going back to the original store, shooting in the original location. For Clerks 2, we moved the storyline to the movies, restaurant where Rosario Dawson joined us and a bunch of other people. So it wasn't quite the same. We shot 1 week in New Jersey to do all the exterior stuff we needed for the movie, and then the rest of the time we were in Orange County in Los Angeles area. So doing it this time, 100% back in the store, 100% the area that we did the first one, and then kind of like a meta kind of deep thing, making the movie in the movie kind of thing was kind of a really great trip down memory lane.
Well, even you mentioned Clerks 2, and it just recently was like the 20-year anniversary of that even of coming out. 20 or 19 years. I saw it on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, I
So
think.
it was this year makes it 19 years because it came out in 2006. So next year will be the 20th anniversary of it, which is spooky to even say it. but this year is also the 20th. It's actually the 20th anniversary. Actually, what am I saying? 19 years of Clerks. 19 years of Clerks 2. 30 years this year was Mallrats. So at this show this weekend, myself, Michael Rooker is here, who played Mr. Svenning in Mallrats. So we're having our own little Mallrat reunion at a couple of these other conventions this year. And Kevin Smith himself has, since last year, has created his own Comic Con called Chronic Con. We had our first inaugural show last year in Chicago at the Hyatt O'Hare Regency, right near the airport, and we had a big Clerks reunion of everybody there. So it was a big View Askew kind of convention. This year we're doing the same thing, but this year we're doing a whole Mallrats reunion. So Michael Rooker, Ethan Suplee, Jason Lee, like myself, and Joey Lauren Adams, and many, many more will be at that. So it's very trippy now that we are old enough where people not only have their own kids, but their own kids are old enough to even some of them having their own kids, which is like 3 generations deep. Is weird because usually a generation is only 20 years. But it's weird seeing more and more younger people like, oh my God, I love your movie. And then trying to explain to them what a video store was. Because they're like, you mean you didn't stream back then? A stream does back then was you went down to an actual body of water. So
Like, wait, explanation for all the kids. Video stores, we were these things that were kind of like CDs that you had to put in a VHS. Yeah, it's too much to explain.
it was a very popular movie. It had to be back in 3 days.
And rewound.
And rewound. Please be kind, rewind.
Yeah. No, I was thinking because my husband and I, we had Netflix back in the day where you actually had to get the DVDs. And one of our first date DVDs was Clerks. I introduced him to it because he had never seen it before. And then,
Weird. That's usually the other way around. It's usually the guy introducing it to the girl.
well, I was a Jersey
You're
girl.
cool. You're cool.
Aw, super cool. Because he's a Bay Area guy. So
Oh,
it was
wow.
also that, like, East Coast girl teaching him the ropes. But I remember, like, us watching that. And then when we got Clerks 2, it was like a whole nother level of funny.
Mm.
And to this day, he still calls me Pillow Pants sometimes, or I'll call him that, but obviously not some of the other.
To be honest with you, and your audience will agree, you're more of a Becky. Come on, you look like her.
I
It's
need to wear my
spooky.
glasses.
It's spooky. Yeah, you got to show up with the yellow jumper and the glasses. Yeah.
One day, I was like, well, there goes my chances of playing her younger sister, even though I'm older. But she's taller than me.
You both could play sisters with no problem. So
You heard it here first, or second. I'm curious, what do you want to do next?
what with career-wise?
Yeah.
Well, I've jumped on the other side. I've been doing more producing lately. I'm producing a documentary right now about this certain paleontologist. So it's the first time I've ever been involved in a documentary like this. So I'm doing that now. There's some scripts that are coming my way that people want me to help produce. So learning that game, and it is a game, to be honest with you, of raising money, finding distribution, getting the kind of staff and funding and stuff that you need is always it's a tough haul, especially in this day and age. There's a lot of streaming. Streaming doesn't really pay as much as people think. It's not like when you had the days of renting VHSs and buying CDs and DVDs and whatnot. So regaining your investment is always tough, especially theatrical is tough these days. When you can walk into a Walmart and get a 75-inch 4K TV for like $600, who's going to want to go to theaters? So it's a tough gig. Now, I believe theaters will never go out of business because people still need places to go and watch some of these big epic movies in IMAX and surround sound and stuff like that.
Other people watching it with you, so you can have like a communal experience. I love that.
Teenagers want to go and watch movies without their parents around. Parents want to go and they've got a babysitter to go and have date night. So there's still the dinner and movie kind of atmosphere that people still enjoy. But it's a tough game getting back to the original point of what I want to do next. Getting onto that side of the camera and then hopefully directing something like a theatrical piece of some sort would be something along my next route of what I want to do next. So I also would love to get back to the Clerks cartoon thing. That's the thing I bugged the most about with Kevin, was like, enough of the live action stuff. Let's get back into the cartoon series, the voiceover. As we here at GalaxyCon, you can see the whole giant section of all these voiceover actors. It's a good gig. It's a sweet gig. A lot of these guys have their own studios at home where they just do it from home and the files get sent and everybody has a great time with it. So it's something like that I wouldn't mind getting back into.
Now, because I want to be considerate of the time, and I'm sure your line's going to start getting crazy. You mentioned about the streaming and also like getting into theatrical and all these different things for people who may be interested in just getting started? As someone who sees it from all angles, what would you recommend as far as like classes they should take, improv or dance, or even like with doing voiceover, how to get into the industry if they're still trying to get into it?
Sure. So to get into the industry, one of the great things would be to get into acting classes, go to local community, college. There's usually theater programs. That's a good way to safe and make mistakes without no worry about anything. That's the best way to do it as we move on to other things. So to start with that, go do community college. If you can't do that, community theater. There's a lot of community theater in communities. Learn the ropes about building sets and learning how to do lights. And if you want to get into the acting side of things, there's usually teachers. Call your local theater and ask them, hey, is there a local acting coach that I can go to? Is there a local voiceover person? Same thing with voiceover people. If you can go to a vocal coach, they usually have connections with people who do radio spots is another great way. Like if you went to your local radio station, hey, I'm interested in doing some voice tracking for your station. I would do it gratis in the beginning. Just here's some samples of what I could do. Read copy, read a magazine ad, like take an ad, see what it says, and read it as if you were reading it on television or for the radio. It's good practice. And then record yourself doing it, and then submit your voiceover tapes to radio and television spots, because the local news is always looking for voiceover people from time to time. And you could do weekends, especially on radio stations, is always looking for people. And if they don't have to pay you but charge the client for the ad, it's a win for them. So like, oh, this guy has a real deep voice that'd be perfect for this serious Lexus kind of thing, that kind of thing. So it's the type of practice, I think, for an actor, it's really good to learn. And then otherwise, if you want to get into other technical aspects of it, learn how to videotape stuff. I mean, a lot of younger people today, since Instagram and TikTok are around, they're learning the aspects of lighting and framing the shot and properly having, your makeup done or whatever. When you get that type of social influencer kind of thing, it's giving you the tools to eventually make a movie. And then when you're ready to make a movie, if you can get people to surround you and support you, either doing things for you for free or whatever, get a really good script together, have friends in local theaters read it, and have Q&As, like have a stage reading of your script with local actors in front of the regular general public, and they'll give you feedback. It'll help you polish the script in a better way. Having more ears and eyes on your piece is always a good thing.
That's such great advice. I'm going to make sure I write that down. And anybody out there that needs help, I'm here.
Yeah. We would have check it again.
Yeah, just put it out there before I forget. I will help you with that. I would love to do that. So again, thanks so much for visiting with me again. I always love talking to you and getting to learn the latest. And let everybody know where they can keep up with you as well in case they want to volunteer services.
Sure. So you can hit me up on Instagram or on X or on Facebook. I also have a Linktree link, but if you go to any of those, it'll give you the Linktree link. So you go to Brian C. O'Halloran, the letter C stands for Christopher, Brian C. O'Halloran at Instagram, or Brian C. O'Halloran at X, or Brian C. O'Halloran or the Brian C. O'Halloran on Facebook. They'll give you the link to my Linktree, which will give you links to everywhere I'm appearing and things that I'm working.
Oh yeah, because you were on a video game. I mean, not video
game show. Yeah, I was on last season, season 3, which aired earlier this year on Fox. You can watch season 3 of The Floor, hosted by Rob Lowe. You can catch any of the back seasons on Hulu. I did pretty good on it. It's a competition of 100 people. It's kind of a trivia kind of game show where the prize is $250,000 is the grand prize. But every night when you had the most floor pieces, you were able to win $20,000 for that. And I won a couple of those. So we'll just put it at that. I don't want to spoil it.
On Brian's tab for this weekend.
Everybody's been hitting me up ever since that.
Well, good. Thank you so much for hanging out with me.
You're always the best.
So, again, thank you so much. Make sure you tune into the spot. All right.
Girl, you the band, and she love me when I'm in it, and she never be pretending. Nothing is friend, she gon' tell you what she bought.